So, here I am at the end. I got everyone up to at least level 88. Here's the final team. I think this is going to be it. I think this is going to be the final battle. The end of the game. I got Wicked level 90. He's not Mega Evolved yet. I don't know about that. We got Logs at level 90. We got Glutton at level 89. Hopper at level 89. We got Dova level 89 with all these moves. Dova's a fucking beast. It's special, trained in defense and special defense. And with Thick Club, his attack is going to be like, what, 334 or something? 36? I don't know. It's crazy. He's got stupid high attack. Higher than Logs at this point, which is nuts. And we got Gorehead. So, yeah, I think this is a good team. Although, I think I will go and check and see if I can Mega Evolve my Pokemon really fast. I know there was an area where you could check it. I think it was maybe on Alpha Isle? Let's go see. I think it was Alpha Isle. Maybe it wasn't Alpha Isle. Maybe it was Nitro Isle? Yeah, I think it might have been Nitro Isle, yeah. What does he say? Isn't entirely completed due to lack of sprites. Okay. And I've been Mount Dino, yeah, that's right. Okay. So I guess there's no real way to get any Mega Evolutions. Huh, that's a bummer, but okay. Just makes it all the more challenging. Alright. This is it then. God damn, Ty, let me have a turn already. Oh, it's her. But I'll give her a man's voice. Oh, it's just you. Ty and I were just discussing who would battle Soul first, which I should be able to do because... Oh, fuck. Ty, destroy her. Hi, Shika, hi, I have an idea. A good idea, I promise. How about we both battle Shika? Whoever wins gets to go first. Sounds good, right? Yeah, it sounds good. And if you go first... Yeah, and you go first if you beat us both. Let's do rock, paper, scissors and see who battle... Oh, my God. Alright. Let's do this. Leafeon. Alright, Wicked, you're in perfect shape for this. Cut him down to size, Wicked. Nice. Alright, he has all the evolutions, that's right. Gorehead. Oh wait, I forgot to turn on battle animations. Damn it, I forgot. I gotta do that. Alright, Protect. Oh, this looks really boring. I forgot about that. It's super janky. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm gonna have to change this. Ah, man. Okay, he's got Ice type. Hopper might be fine. Although it's raining though, so Wicked. Oh, Vaporeon. Okay. Glutton. You got this, Glutton. Yeah. Ouch, Glutton. Alright, kill him, please. Get rid of him. Ooh. That should be it, though. Alright, Glaceon. Now I'm gonna send out Wicked. Yeah. Go get him, Wicked. I really hope they could, like, let me switch out. Dova. Alright, Dova, this is your first shot. Go get him! Oh, okay. Knockoff. Yeah! Good job, Dova. You got nothing to fear now. Unless it has something stupid like Grass Knot, which I highly doubt it does. Can't believe you're able to do Substitute that many times. Get out of here, Jolteon. I trained on evolutions. I hate waiting, girl. You jerk. That wasn't rock, paper, scissors at all. Well, it's my turn now. Here's to a good battle, Shika. Damn it. I want the battle animations to be turned on. This sucks. Alright, Shelly. This is going to be the last time. Alright, Wicked. Bullet punch this bitch. Rapidash? That's bad news. None of my Pokemon are healed up neither. Gorehead. Alright. Rain Dance. Ouch. Protect. Get some of that HP back. Go ahead. Surf him. Oh, shit. Ouch. Okay. Garchomp. That's bad. I don't have a fairy type. No fairy types are here. Glutton's weakened. It's gonna have to be Logs. You got this, buddy. Nice. Alright, ice punch him. Ah, logs! Yeah! Oh, you're a beast, logs. Skarmory, that's bad news. I think Dova. It's gonna have to be Dova. Come on, Dova. Alright, that's bad. I'm gonna have to heal. Well, who else do I have? Wicked could probably take a hit, but what else could Wicked do to it, though? Like, Rock Smash? Hopper has no defense. Everyone else is weakened. I'm gonna have to heal him. I have no other option. Alright. Okay, Dova. Rock climb him. Ah, shit. Shit. This is bad. Alright, Wicked, you got this, Wicked. Oh, you bitch. Okay. Shit. Okay, well, if you heal, I'm gonna heal. Oh my god, Wicked, no! This is very bad. This is very, very bad. Someone's gonna die here. Someone's gonna die. Not the Shelly again. God damn it. I can't. I have to heal up Wicked or else Wicked will die. Wicked will die if I do not heal him. Damn it. I hate this bitch. I hate her. She makes me use items. I don't like her. God damn it. Shit. I am in a bad loop here. I can't center anyone. Anyone else will die. Everyone else will die. Gorehead will die. Glutton will die. The only one I have that may not die would be Hopper. But Hopper has no defense. Like, 0 defense. Hopper will probably die to a Brave Bird. And with spikes out too, he can't eat it. He can't eat it. Wicked can't do jack shit to this thing. I just have to keep healing. I feel dirty. You make me feel dirty, Shelly. But whatever. I think I could take a hit now. Yeah. Get out of here. Shit. Alright. This is fucked. I've lost too many Pokemon to you, Shelly. I'm not losing any more to you. Ah! Die! Get out of here. Thank you, God. Greninja. Water Dark. Oh my god. Everyone's weakened, too. Everyone's weakened. I have to heal up. It's gotta be... everyone's weakened. Everyone's weakened. Wicked, you're already on Rock Smash. Just please kill him. Yes, thank you, Wicked. Tyranitar, you got this. You can quad kill him. Good job, Wicked. Oh my god. Fuck you, Shelly. Get out of here. Make me fight without any battle animations. I hate you so much. You have to be the most hated rival I've ever had in any video game. Figured as much. To be honest, I've already battled Soul. I lost pretty badly. Ha. He's way out of my league. Anyway, I'm going to travel to the home region now. What's more, you can't follow me since someone doesn't exist in this game. Ha! Maybe I'll see you around, Slowpoke. Goodbye. Oh my god. Man, what a downer, isn't she? Breaking the 4th wall and everything. You know, Shika, I've already gotten walloped by Soul 3 times. I better train. Training sucks. Bah. Must be done. Bye, Shika. Have fun. Good luck. Turning on battle animations. That was painful. Alright. Healing now. Now I don't know if I should grind up more or not. Because that was hard. That was hard and stupid because I had to use items. I'm ready. I'm gonna do it. Unfortunately, wait, I recognize you now. You must be Shika. Soul told me to move top of the list to become challenger. Nice. Yes, let's do it. Good luck. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Soul Stadium. Now entering the stage of the first time challenger, Shika. Already gained the fame of champion of both Donut and Jonut. Jonut and Jonut. We'll be able to unseat Soul as well. We'll just have to wait and see. This is it. Oh my god, he's so edgy. With an impressive pedigree of wins under his belt, Soul became the champion of the Sinnoh region with his partner Empoleon. Now he will fare against Shika. How he will fare against Shika? Stay frosty, folks. This match is about to begin. Huh. So you came at last. I came to Rancor with a desire to find strong trainers, such as myself. A few came close, but anyway, enough chat, time to battle. This is it. This is it. Here's the shiny Empoleon. Magmortar, and I have... Oh god, I have Wicked out in front. This is bad news. This is bad news. Gorehead! Gorehead's probably fine. Alright. Fire Blast? Yeah, and he missed. Alright, good job. Rain Dance. You can eat this Gorhid. It's not stab, and he has kind of weak attack. Yeah. Good job, Gorhid. That should be enough. Surf him! Yeah! I bet you anything he's gonna heal. Yeah. Nice. So that means I could heal once too. Great. Good job, Gorhid. Hydreigon. Ooh. Let's scout out. See what he's gonna do. Draco Meteor. That could be bad news. Wicked's probably fine against that. Yeah, Wicked could take it. Wicked could take it easy. Oh shit, maybe not. I wasn't expecting him to use Dark Pulse. This is very risky. I can't lose Wicked to this. Maybe Logs would be better. But Logs has like no special defense. Logs is better. Logs is better. Yeah, good job, Logs. Get rid of him. Logs! Logs, no! That's it. You're dead. Hopper, get in here. Revenge kill this bitch. Flamethrower. I know you can kill him from here. Nice. Gliscor, Flamethrower. Just go ahead, revenge kill everything, Hopper. This is what you're here for. Revenge kill everything. Yes. Hopper's gonna win this for me. Revenge kill Hopper. Revenge kill everything. Make them pay for what they did to Logs. Genocide, you're fucked. You're fucked. Hopper. Oh, you're fucked. Hopper. Oh my god. I defeated. Oh my god, Hopper came through like I said. But Logs is dead. Oh, this better be the end of the game. No. The one who was who was with me the entire game, my rock. Logs. He did the ultimate sacrifice. Hopper came in and was like, alright, this is what I was trained up for. He came with a huge, like, fucking, like, shotgun, like, bam, bam, bam. So they're a skill trainer's rancor after all. Hopper, you're awesome. Revenge killer, Hopper. Oh my god, I revenge killed him. They continue to insist with this showy stuff, but you've got talent to put time and effort into raising your team, and it's gotten you this far. Thank you for acknowledging all the time I put into it. You've won the title of Rancor Champion. Champion of 3 regions, that must be a first. Thanks for letting me hone my skills against you. Our next battle won't be the same as this one, but be ready. Yes, please. I did it! Watching the credits will gain you a trainer star, but if you're unable to save, you will lose all data. Do you still wish to watch the credits? Yeah. Oh my god, I did it! I beat the Nuzlocke! I beat this fucking Nuzlocke! I did it! I did it! Nova, this is what we came here for. I'm so sorry you couldn't come here. Logs died, but Wicked got me through, and Hopper came at the last second and killed everything. Dova, you were a necessary Dova. And Gorhid, you're probably one of my favorite Pokemon, Agudra. You're so bulky, you're so beastly. I did it. I did it. I conquered Glazed. Yeah. Suck it, Pokemon Resolute. 122 hours of my life gone, but I did it. I am a Nuzlocke champion. Proof. Now I can start doing other things now. The whole reason I did this was because I wanted to, oh my god. Burrows, this is for you, Burrows. Oh, I did it. Oh my god. Internet folks, that's funny. Oh my god. Now I can actually start doing, oh my god, I forgot his name. I forgot your name. I forgot your name. Yeah, I forgot you suck though. Yeah, Sparky. Him. They're cool. I never use most of these Pokemon. Oh, Magician. Oh, she's cool. He's cool. I wonder why they like Qlava so much. But whatever. I never even really used Qlava. What was I gonna say? Ah, man. I did this. I'm so ecstatic. I can't believe I actually did it. I thought for sure I was gonna lose. Because if you black out, that's also it for the Nuzlocke also. Oh, Super. You're cool. I remember you guys. You're thick. You didn't really do much. Oh no, traps, Super. Oh man. Oh, Sheed. Oh, Swoley. Yeah. Oh, Echo. But yeah, now I can finally start doing animations. I wanted to do this just to get this out of the way because I always wanted to do this. Now this is finally done. I might do another game. I might do another Nuzlocke. I was working on another one. Oh wow, it's a shiny one too. Oh wow. Yeah. If I might, I didn't use Zubat in this playthrough neither. Lon, Onigiri, all the bad memories. Cargadon. Oh my god, I have actual memories of these Pokemon. That's great. Ego, Berserk. Yeah. But man, yeah. So now I can actually start doing animations now, though. I might continue doing the other one I was doing, which was Pokemon Victory Fire. I might do that one. I might continue with that one. But this is like gonna be my main one. Brutal. Oh my god, it's been so long. I don't even remember Brutal. Twinkie, I remember Twinkie. Swoley, Berserk. I don't remember you. You sucked. I hate you. Corey, I miss you, Corey. Hermes. Yeah, baby boy, Lloyd. Didn't have to use Lloyd though. Kind of sad I didn't get to use Lloyd. I really like Lloyd. Lloyd will remember his logs though, in his memory. Your father did not die for any reason, Lloyd. You can go on. You can have a good life. It's like they say, you know, in order for Simone to rise and Gurren Lagann, Kamina must die. So too must logs have died for Lloyd. Oh, both their names start with L too. I just realized that. This is for you, Burrows. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing playthrough. It's been an absolute joy playing this, and it's been an absolute joy just, I guess, recording it. And if you watched it with me, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a ride, man. It was quite the ride. I can't believe I I swept the final guy. I swept the final dude. I can't believe I actually wound up doing that. Hopper pulled through for me, like, completely. Like, I was that excited when I recorded the ending. Like, I can't believe I was flabbergasted. Like, I mean, you can kind of see with me, like, just talking over, like seeing all the old Pokemon or whatever in the credits. Like, I couldn't really articulate what I was saying, so I wanted to make this just to articulate, you know, what I've learned and, like, I guess how much I really appreciated this Nuzlocke, and I guess how much, you know, thank you for watching is also, and because I realized I didn't thank you guys for watching at the end. So, but, yeah, after every Nuzlocke I do, or after anything really, after any job I do, or any person I meet or whatever, I always write down what I learned from them. My friend, one of my good friends gave me like a stack of like just note cards, and I make use of them all the time. I try to make use of them. So, and it's been like one of the smartest decisions I've ever made. So I always write down a bunch of notes, and if you got the time, I would like to share with you what I've learned on basically just in all the Nuzlockes I've played in general. So, yeah, if you got the time, you could hang here and listen to me. It's kind of like a podcast at this point. But yeah, so let's just jump right into this then. Hopefully this doesn't come off as too pretentious, but I think it's important though. I think it's important what you know, for me to share with you what I've learned, and it would make me feel good, I guess, basically. But if anyone, I mean, someone could learn from this too. Like, no point in trying to reinvent the wheel. Like, this stuff to me is more valuable than money. It's like, if you ever watch like that anime Golden Boy, like, that's... And like in the first episode, it's kind of a raunchy anime, but it's literally one of my favorite anime, if not my favorite anime, like the favorite anime for me to watch. And it's like how it's how I basically want to go about living my life. But he always takes like notes of wherever he goes, and like in the beginning, the first episode, like a lady rips up his notes and is like, "That's more valuable to me than money and gold." That's the same way with me. My notes are invaluable. What I learn and knowledge is so important. So like, I would like to share with you what I learned. So let's jump right into this. Let's see. Number one, the first one is be loose and silly, almost drunk-like. So, I guess making YouTube videos or any content on the internet in general, you kind of have to get over like hearing your own voice or like performing in front of other people. Like, you're gonna have to be okay with not being okay. You're gonna have to be okay with appearing not cool or appearing stupid all the time. And I guess it's just better just to enjoy your life and to just be silly. Like, that's one good thing I really learned from Game Grumps. Like, they were talking over like how they don't drink alcohol or whatever, Game Grumps, and it's like, yeah, I think it was Danny Sexbane was talking about this. He's talking about like, yeah, man, I'm already loose. I don't need to drink for that. And I think that's a good way to live. You know, you shouldn't need that to be loose and to be silly. And I think it's just a good way to appreciate life. Like, a lot of people that I met, actually most people that I met who are like that, who are loose and silly and don't take themselves too seriously, are probably the most deepest people I probably have ever met and probably will ever know.
So that's important. And it's like it's the same thing with pretty much One Piece too. Like One Piece, you can't get much more silly and goofy in One Piece. But like, man, that show gets deep. Show gets dark, like real quick. Like, yeah. So be loose and silly. I think that's a very important thing I've learned from just making content in the internet in general, which usually most people get. Also, it's nothing new. Let's see. Oh, here's another good one. This is actually a quote from Digibro, I think. Anything and everything is okay so long as you roll with it. Just like improv. Basically, yeah, I think that's why I mostly really like doing a Nuzlocke and doing this, is because, like, it's essentially improv. It's essentially a way for me to practice improv and essentially get through... I'll elaborate more into this later on, but it's basically a test run or like a sketch, basically, of me, how I should value and, like, live and go about living my life, is how it is. And that's essentially what improv is. Improv is just you going with the motions and figuring out how to create an interesting and complicated story while also being funny. Like, it's while things are just randomly coming about you. Like, you have no real control over it, but you have a lot of say into it, but you don't have a lot of control over it. I'll elaborate more as I go along in this. But that's one thing that I've learned. That's a great quote from Digibro, I think. Or maybe it's not from Digibro. I think it's from the PCP. It might have been like one of the other people there, but I'm pretty sure it was Digibro though. Yeah, so just accept other people's judgments, just go with it, basically. Being silly is like the other side of chaos. So I listen to a lot of Jordan Peterson. So if you don't know who Jordan Peterson is, he's basically a psychologist. He goes over. He can be slightly controversial, but he has a lot of good topics though, and a lot of stuff I definitely agree with him on this. And he goes over like a lot of like Nietzsche or whatever. He gets Nietzsche like confused with another philosopher. It doesn't matter. It's not important. What's important is that like he goes over like yin and yang a lot, basically, and like chaos and order or whatever, and like the shadow, basically. I think like the shadow of like everyone's figure or whatever, like that, like the dark side of another person could be. And being silly, I've noticed, is like the other side of a person's shadow. It's still a part of I think it's still a part of a person's shadow, but it's like the other side of a person's shadow. If you could be silly, then you can get really dark, I guess. Which is essentially what I said basically in the beginning, too. If you can be, with like One Piece, if you can be silly, then you could have control over your malevolent evil side, essentially. If you can accept that side of you, then you can accept the other side of you, and you can control that other side of you much better. So that way it doesn't manifest and come out randomly and severely when it should or shouldn't. You know what I mean? I shouldn't view deep Shika as different from funny Shika or YouTube Shika. It's all Shika. It's all the same. So here's what I learned from actually Nova's death. Man, Nova's death was like, God, I'm gonna get a drink. That's how bad Nova's death was. Hold on, I gotta drink up for this. Nova's death was legitimately bad. I almost cried when I was recording that. Like, oh my God, Nova threw me through like the entire beginning of the game. 2 regions. I had her for 2 regions. She had an entire arc, and then bam, bam. I think like, oh man, this story is about her. Nope, she's dead. It's not about her. It's about, if anything, I feel like it's about Logs, or it's about Wicked. Probably about Logs. Logs has been there since like the beginning. Logs is awesome. But oh, Logs died too though. No, Logs. Yeah, but yeah, it's like what I learned from Nova's death though, specifically Nova's death, is that no matter how strong you are or become, something can always blindside you, and there's always like greater heights to achieve or to face. So like wherever you are, no matter how strong or buffed up you get, or like how prepared you are for life, there's always some random occurrence or some random chance that something can just completely destroy you, and you have to accept that basically. Like, there's always something, the world is just that big, like there's always like, and not even the world, like just time in general, like something can be like, get that big in a spot there where it wasn't that big in the beginning. It's kind of hard to explain, but, or to articulate also, but yeah, that's essentially what I learned from that though, is like, you could always be prepared, and you could always be ready, but like Nova died, Nova didn't die from a ground type move, or from a fighting move. Nova died, I'm pretty sure, from like, a crit outrage, and I intimidated it too. I intimidated that Garchomp, and it crit, like, yeah, it was a neutral crit that killed her. So it wasn't even something that I was prepared for. Like, something random is going to like just kill you. Oh, that's something I also learned, not just from Nova's death. Also, I learned this also from my other Nuzlocke that I did on my own. My first playthrough of Volt White 2. When I was playing that game originally, I did actually do 2 playthroughs. The screenshot you saw from when I did the beginning episode of me being like, "Ha! I finally did Nuzlocke." See, the screenshot you saw of that was originally of like the second playthrough I did of that. The first playthrough I did of that, I actually died. The first Nuzlocke I tried, I died really badly, and I was actually close to the end. I was like right at the Elite Four. I was just about to beat the game, and I was gonna battle Hugh, but then right before I battled Hugh, my rival, I think I had a Ninjask in that game also, which is weird. But I had a Ninjask, I'm pretty sure, and it died randomly to like a rock move or something I wasn't prepared for, that I just didn't see coming. And because that one Pokemon died on my team, I had to restructure my whole team, and I actually wound up losing to Hugh, specifically because my Ninjask, or I forgot, maybe it wasn't Ninjask, but it was some other Pokemon that I had. Oh, maybe it was, no, I think it was Jumpluff. It was Jumpluff, that's what. I had a Jumpluff in that game, and it died. And because I didn't have Jumpluff on my team, I lost to Hugh, and I whited out, and I blacked out, and I had to restart, and it was bad. It was really bad. Yeah, so like, you know, if you could be prepared for whatever, but like, and that's not only the other thing I was talking about too. It's like, yeah, you be prepared for whatever you are, but then like, no matter how prepared you are, some random thing can come and just blindside you. But not just that, what I learned from that playthrough also about that Jumpluff, I also learned that like, life is very fragile and very like, can be swayed by like very, very simple things. Like, we don't have a lot of control of like where life goes, but like one tiny slip up, like Nova dying to like a crit or whatever, can like cascade into like a bajillion different things. Like, not even like the Jumpluff example. Like, I could just go off with like a Magician, like my Arcanine. Like, the fact that Arcanine died to an Earthquake that I didn't predict on a Rapidash, because the Rapidash normally can't learn Earthquake, I'm pretty sure. The fact that it died to that just cascaded into a series of horrible events, leading to Nova's death and even Super's death. Like, crazy, crazy stuff. Like, yeah, so like, life is very, very fragile. So, and with the Jumpluff example too, because I lost that one Jumpluff, like, everything just cascaded into just utter hell. Because that one tiny thing, whereas if that Jumpluff or Magician didn't die, then that battle probably would have been perfectly fine. Probably would have been A-okay. Yeah, so that's what I learned from that. The best way, and what I learned from that experience too, is that, like, those two experiences, is that the best way to deal with that is to basically become hyper aware of your surroundings, while also not self-destroying or collapsing in on yourself. So you have to accept that, like, you know, random occurrences are going to happen, and you need to, you know, you need to take that into account. But you also need to be aware of, like, where you are and how to best prepare. Because the fact that I did put so much time and effort into making my team so good, and like rock solid, maybe that helped me, like, that, I mean, when I lost Nova and everyone, it looked real bad. Like, I lost like 3-4 Pokemon, but like, maybe, but if I didn't do that though, if I just used whatever Pokemon I wanted to use, the damage might have been real worse. The damage I might have actually wiped out if I did that. So me preparing myself and being that hyper aware might have actually wound up saving my life as much like damage as that one situation caused. You know, it's hard to explain. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Like, so like, this is gonna get really morbid and really dark, and there's a lot of morbid and dark things I'm gonna say, I guess, following this also, which doesn't exactly sound very good, but hear me out though, hear me out. So like, I think recently there was like a school shooting, right? And it was like, it was a 12-year-old kid that was doing the school shooting. It's insane, it's horrible. I don't know the details. I just know there was a school shooting with a 12-year-old kid. There's a 12-year-old kid though that was shooting around. I'm pretty sure like the science teacher or whatever, he was like a beastly huge dude. He's like massive, and he like, I think he stopped him. I think he like stopped him and like saved the school. I don't remember the details, but he did something though. But he got shot though, and I don't know if he died or not. But he got shot though, and it probably hurt like hell. And it probably, I think it like subdued him also. And you're just like, wow, even like a big buff meaty dude like that can like destroy that guy, or like not destroy the guy, but like, you know, stop a kid from like stop a shooter, still gets like destroyed by a gun or whatever. And you're like, you could take away from that being like, well, there's no point in like, you know, getting big or getting strong or whatever physically, because someone randomly can just shoot you up with a gun and end everything, even if you are big and strong. But the fact that he was able to do something even after getting shot means that it was still important to be big like that, to be like buff like that. If he wasn't, then he may not have been able to get that one small chance to stop that kid and maybe subsequently saving like someone's life or like a lot of people's lives. So like, I guess that's the perspective I always had with like EV training, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I always view like grinding or EV training as like, man, this is wasting my time. What am I doing? Like, I just want to play the game. Like, some random thing's gonna happen. I'm gonna get crit, and it's all this time I'm gonna pour into this Pokemon. It's not gonna matter. But like in some situations, like I want to say like Lun or like Wicked. I think it was Wicked. I think it was Wicked. Yeah, it was some situations with Wicked where like Wicked almost died, and like Wicked like got critted on. He got hit by something that was neutral, and he almost died, but he lived with like 1 or 2 HP, and it was insane. And what if I never invested in that, like, that defense or whatever? What if I never trained him up like that? Then he would have actually died of that one situation, which he couldn't live. And if he couldn't live, then he couldn't have lived on to, like, you know, basically help me save the day and beat the whole entire game, basically. So, like, your time, what I'm trying to get at is that, like, your time invested in beefing yourself up does, or is important, and does have a huge effect on your environment and on your life in the future, even if the results aren't as big as what you think they are, or appear to be much smaller than what they are. It does have a massive effect. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. What else am I trying to say here? I guess also what I'm trying to say too, though, was like not to get like caught up in being too self-aware. Because what I would do too also is that I noticed I would spend hours and hours and hours like just figuring out, okay, what's the best team to do this. Like, which is a good thing too. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's also a bad thing though to it's good to plan, it's good to, you know, be prepared, but it's bad to get too caught up in that, to be too self-destructive and collapse in on yourself and like get too paranoid. You gotta be like, you gotta walk a balance basically, which again is like in Jordan Peterson. If you don't know who Jordan, I think I went over this again before, but like, yeah, Jordan Peterson's a psychologist. He's kind of controversial, but he talks about yin and yang a lot. He talks about like, you know, walking in the balance of things. And, you know, if you don't walk on it, you know, if you're too much in the black spectrum of the circle, which is chaos, then, like, everything's crazy and you're too anxious and you're afraid to go outside your home and everything's horrible and everything's hell and you're nihilistic and everything sucks. Whereas if you're, you know, walking too much on the white spectrum of things, on the white spectrum of the circle, then, like, everything's boring. Like how I was when I was grinding, when I was over leveled, like, you know, all my Pokemon were one-shotting everything. I was like One Punch Man, you know. It was like, there's, like, I'm just bored. Like, you know, there's no conflict. So, like, there's no conflict. You become warping your own mind, and you get paranoid in a different way, and, like, you're untouchable. And then you're more open and susceptible to something really, really bad or happening, or being blindsided, basically. So it's good to, the best way to live, and the best way to play a Nuzlocke too, because essentially a Nuzlocke, or recording Nuzlocke for YouTube, is essentially the exact same thing. You have to walk on that balance between both those spectrums. One foot in the chaos section, the black circle, and one on the white spectrum of the circle, the order. So you need to walk on that fine line that is right in between them. That's what you need to do. You need to walk in between the line. Because, like, if you're too over-leveled while you're recording or making a Nuzlocke series for YouTube, then it's boring. No one's going to want to watch it. It's not interesting. It's not engaging. On the other side, if you're under-leveled and if you're not prepared and you're not, you know, getting your team up, then everything's in chaos, everything's in hell, and that's also not interesting to watch because you're not competent. You're not good at the game. So you need to be, you need to walk that balance where you're competent, but you're also not making things easy for yourself. And that's essentially how you need to go about, I guess, life in general too. You need to look at things. You need to be aware and accept the possibility of some crazy random thing happening, but also be aware of, like, you know, you need to beef yourself up. So don't waste your time, basically. Don't waste your time beefing yourself up too much, but don't not beef yourself up, though, for the exact same excuse. So it's important to do both. It's hard to explain or articulate that idea. Here's another one from Jordan Peterson, which is really good. It's life is like a frozen car, basically. So here's the analogy he was going with. You're out in the tundra, right? You're coming home. It's snowing. It's blizzard. It's horrible conditions then. You're in your car, and your car shuts off. You ran out of gas, whatever. It's done. It's not moving. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You got no food. You got no nothing. You got nothing. That car can be one of two things. It can either be a shelter where you stay and you survive through the environment and, yeah, the outside wilderness in that car, or it can be a tombstone. You can interpret it as, like, that's where you're going to die. You're alone and you got nothing there. And subsequently, you could also view, like, say, like, you see someone else walking down, like, the road or whatever, like a stranger. You can either view that as, like, you know, oh, this person's gonna come and help me, or, oh my god, this person's gonna murder me. Like, it's basically life, like, that situation in that context is, like, it's the land of the unknown, basically. It's bajillion opportunities and chaos are all emerging at you all at once. Like, every possibility is emerging at you at every direction all at once, and that's chaos. That's the land of the unknown, the land of the stranger. And you have to, a Nuzlocke is essentially that also, because you don't know what kind of Pokemon you're going to get, and you don't know what that route, that new area where you're going in, is going to entail. It could contain the Pokemon that you're going to catch that's going to basically help you win the game and save you and save all your other Pokemon on your team, or it can be the route where you find that one trainer that completely demolishes you and kills you even. So you don't know. So you have to, it's a good way to practice and to venture into that land of the unknown and to get used to it, basically, because there's no real way of dealing with that except for getting used to it. And yeah, that's essentially what that is. What's another one? Oh yeah, as I was saying before, though, with like my jump pluff and whatever Magician Dine, or like, you know, how one slip up can drastically change your future for like good or worse. Like, it could actually drastically change your, like how I was saying before, it was like, you know, that one thing, my jump pluff dying was drastically bad and basically made me lose that one time I played Blaze Black 2. But subsequently, at the exact same time, like, one random thing could also mean like the exact like opposite. Could mean like you're going to basically win the game. Like look at Pro Jared's Nuzlocke. Pro Jared got an Oddish, which wound up being like the best Pokemon he's ever had and what he exactly needed to beat the game. Like, it's amazing. Like, he beat the game specifically because he got, I mean, just look at me. I got a Houndoom, basically. I got a Houndoom, and because I got a Houndoom that was so fast and strong, I was able to one-shot everything, and I didn't even know that that guy was going to have a Genesect and a Roserade, and basically all Pokemon that weren't going to resist fire. Like, it's insane. Like, it was nuts. Like, so one slip-up or one random thing could either, like, save your entire life or be the complete death of you. So it's, but what that said, though, even though, like, there's no predicting that, and you can't really control that, you do have a lot of sway in where that necessarily goes, but like how you use that. So you could, like, you can put a lot of input in that, so that way you can make that unpredictable thing do not what you wanted to do, but to go in a direction you kind of wanted to go into. But it's still going to do its own thing. So it's hard to explain. I don't even know. I'll keep this in. What else? What else did I do? Oh, here's what I learned from myself, basically. So in doing a Nuzlocke, I gain my own trust and respect because I know I can do this on a larger scale. That I know that I have mastered self-control, or at least understand self-control and patience and discipline. So a long time, since I was basically a kid, I always, drank soda. I never really worked out. I never really had any, self-control or discipline. So I think that's why I'm so fascinated with a Nuzlocke. Like, it's pretty much entirely about self-control. The game is not programmed for you to do any of this stuff. You can still play the game with your Pokemon that have fainted. You can go back and you can heal them. So it's pretty much entirely about self-control, which is why I'm so, again, I'm burping a lot, jeez. I'm just fascinated with it. And the fact that I can do this means that I can go out and I can do other things that I want to do. Because I also want to make a comic and I also want to make animations. And if I can essentially do this on a small scale like this, then I can go ahead and I can make those other things. Because you know how I made this? I made this thing in bunches. I played and recorded the entire thing all in one session from start to finish. Then I stopped, and then I went and I recorded and edited, I edited everything all at once, and now I'm going to upload and put everything up all at once. So when you're watching this, basically, I've already, done this. This is already a month before I've already recorded this. So, yeah, or a month has passed, basically, since I've recorded this. So it's all in the past, basically. This isn't, because how I used to go about it before, it's I would play, record, edit, and then upload on YouTube. Then I rinse and repeat for each episode, and I would do each episode individually. Whereas this time I did it all together. I nested everything all in one action. So, which takes a lot longer, and it takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of self-control to do that, because it's so tempting, so easy to be like, man, this episode's done. All I have to do is just put it out there. But and then it could like people could watch or whatever. But it doesn't work that way. Whenever I do that, I don't finish it. And it's the same way with like a lot of comics too. A lot of web comics also have that exact same problem. Like someone makes a web comic, it's awesome, and then like 99% of the time the web comic artist like stops making the art, and you're like, where's the art, man? Where's the comic? I want to read more of the comic. But they're like, I got bored. It's because they didn't keep it from start to finish. They didn't make it from start to finish, and that's not how I want to do it at all. I want to make my comic. I want to write. You have to essentially do the exact same thing when you're writing a book too. You need to make a rough draft. You need to, write the entire rough draft, pause a little bit, take a break, then look it over, reread it, everything, edit it, and then rewrite the whole thing again, and then it's ready to publish. And in my case, after that, after I've written everything, I have to draw out all the pictures, relook at all those again, take a break, and then redraw everything all over again. So that way it's exactly how I want it to be, so that way it's actually done. And then I could, then I'll put it out on the internet, or I'll post it up, or publish it, or whatever. And it's the same thing with animation, too. It's like, so the fact that I could do this, a Nuzlocke like this, on a small scale, means I can do the other projects that I want to do on a much larger scale. So it's been a very, very personal and a very spiritual experience for me playing a Pokemon game. Only me, only I, a total Pokemon nerd, will get a spiritual experience from a Pokemon game. I'm still amazed that they gave me that option to be like I had impure thoughts in that church. Oh my god, that was amazing. Here's a good one next. This one's from Brandon Sanderson. If you don't know who Brandon Sanderson is, hold on, let me get a drink. Oh, that's better. Brandon Sanderson is a fiction writer, and he has a lot of rules about magic systems and world building. He's great. He's phenomenal. If you haven't read Mistborn, which is my favorite book ever, then go read it. It's amazing. If you like Gurren Lagann, then you'll like Mistborn, because Mistborn's way better than Gurren Lagann. It's like Gurren Lagann philosophically anyway, not action-packed or animation-wise, whatever. It's a book, but if you like the philosophy of Gurren Lagann, then you're gonna really love the philosophy of Mistborn, because it's pretty much Gurren Lagann on crack. That aspect of it anyway. But one let me get to the point though. The one thing I've learned from this that applies to Brandon Sanderson's laws is go deeper before you expand or go further. Fully understand something before you invest in the next thing. That way you'll gain more out of it. You'll gain more out of going deeper and fully understanding something rather than going off and doing the next thing, which might seem more shiny or new or whatever. Once you fully understand something, fully engross yourself in that one situation, then you'll get more out of it. Basically, I could look at this and be like, which is essentially what I did with editing and making this whole thing. I went all the way first and then I edited. And I feel like I got way more out of that taking that route than if I just did each one individually. Because then I could look at everything as a whole first. That's one way to look at it. You could look at it as if you look at it through a tiny lens every single time and not a big lens, then you're not going to get the bigger picture. I'm pretty sure you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just articulating and verbally vomiting at this point. But okay, so my point is though is that let me give you an example from his series Mistborn. His series is his entire book Mistborn takes place in one city. And you're where is it? It's a fantasy book. So you're it has a map of the entire world. And you're well, where's the mountains? I want to go to the mountains of Terrace or whatever. I want to go there. That sounds cool. But you don't. You just stay in this one city. And that's kind of dumb. Why do they do that? Well, he does that because it's very intentional. Because the span of the entire series of the book, or at least the first three anyway, takes place in that one city. It makes the entire world feel gigantic. Because I just said it right there. The entire story takes place in 3 books. And if all the craziness and story-wise stuff can happen in just that tiny city, then how crazy and how many more bigger stories are out there in that world? It makes your world feel much bigger and much more fleshed out without actually having to develop it. It's like an iceberg. You just see the tip of the iceberg, and the tip of that iceberg is huge. But then you look down and you're oh my god, beneath it is under the water is massive. It's absolutely big. But you don't actually have to, but you don't see the stuff underneath that. You don't have to see it. Your mind will create that picture of it actually being there. And I guess that's what I really learned, from, maybe I didn't necessarily learn that from Nuzlocke, but I did learn that, that concept, though, also applies to learning something. Fully learn everything and fully go deep into something before you go off to a next project. Say making art or Pokemon videos or whatever. For a long time, I wanted to be okay, or how I was going about it before, too. I was going about, I'm going to record a Nuzlocke video, and on the side, I'm going to make my art. Whereas
I just focused entirely on making a Pokemon video. I just did that. I focused entirely on making, not a Pokemon video, a Nuzlocke series. And because I did that, I have like 20 pages of notes that I learned and I gained so much information from. Whereas if I just did it individually, I feel like I wouldn't have gained that information. It would have slipped right by me. Basically what this quote is saying, go deeper before you expand or go further, is cast a wider net. When you cast a wide net, which is basically the net is going deeper, then you collect more information. Whereas if you go off and go somewhere else, then your net that you're basically setting off for yourself to learn that thing, or trying to catch that thing, is going to be smaller. The deeper you go, the bigger your net's going to be, essentially is what he's saying. I think I went over that. Yeah, I went over that. Let's go to the next thing. I mentioned the land of the stranger, the unknown. I told you that. I guess I kind of went over this too. Nuzlocke's like welding or blacksmithing or wood chopping. I've done a little bit of blacksmithing, and I chopped down a tree in my yard like once or twice. What I learned from those though is that like you got to start off small, and the more you work at it, the more you articulate it, the more you understand it. Which is essentially what I just said. Also, basically, go deeper before you expand. The more you'll understand it, and the bigger and more complicated and more complex it can go. Which is essentially what I said with me wanting to make a comic or whatever like that. But another thing I learned from those though is that like you got to keep like you got to bang it out every single time. When you're chopping a tree or welding, you have to hit the tree or the iron in the exact right spot where you want it to hit it for it to be effective, and you have to hit it with all of your force every single time. And if you don't, then you're not going to get the result you want. It's not going to work. So I guess that kind of applies to Nuzlocke, but that's what I learned from that at least. What else is there? There's a lot. There's like just notes. There's just verbal, just intelligent vomit just everywhere. It's great. I don't know if you like this. Hopefully, you're probably long gone. This is essentially a podcast at this point. Okay, let me continue. This experience was like a light inside my head, allowing me to. Oh yeah, so this is basically. It's basically it felt like a light went off in my head, basically in my mind. It's like this experience gave me a different paradigm shift on like all these notes and all this knowledge that I've learned. Like the example of like the yin and yang thing of living life that way and half chaos, half order is a good paradigm shift for me to, you know, interact and view the world in, essentially. It's good. It's good stuff. Here's an interesting one. I've been actually reading a lot of Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball manga, and I've been listening to a lot of Dragon Ball Wave, and that's good. Sorry about that. And my god, reading Dragon Ball while listening to Dragon Ball Wave, which is essentially Vaporwave Dragon Ball stuff over it, or Dragon Ball tunes edited into it, it's amazing. It captures the entire feel of Dragon Ball perfectly. Like, it's palpable. Like, it's amazing. It's the best experience ever. But here's something that I learned from Dragon Ball actually recently, which kind of applies to Nuzlocke too, because it's about being like a beast basically. Goku can go wherever he wants to go, talk to whoever he wants to do, and fight whoever he wants to fight, and still be okay. He might get hurt, but he's not gonna be like, he's still gonna come out alive and still learn something from the other side of it. And I think it's what makes Goku so interesting. It's again, it's like kind of like what Jordan Peterson said about like, you know, fighting the dragon, the Chaos Dragon, and like getting the gold from the treasure inside the dragon, like pulling the heart out of the dragon. It's kind of like that too. But I think it's what makes Goku so endearing, because like he can go wherever he wants to go, and it could be chaos, it could be total hell. He can fight these monsters that are crazy. He lives in a woods where they're filled with monsters, but he himself is also a monster, and he can also like fight off those things. And he's fine, he's happy, and I think that's the best way to like to live and learn. Like the best way to be happy basically is to be a beast yourself, so that way nothing else can hurt you. That's the best way I've noticed that. And that's essentially what I've learned also from like doing a Nuzlocke. Like the best way to go about playing a Nuzlocke is to be over leveled and to just blast through it. It's not necessarily fun, but if you're a beast yourself, that can be. Well, Goku's not like. Okay, Goku's not One Punch Man, but Goku's not like blasting everything out of the woods or whatever. He still has to fight them, and he still get hurt by them. So I think that's why Goku is so endearing to watch, because he is having genuine fun. Because he can get hurt, but he's not. But he can handle it though. So I think that's the takeaway from that. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, basically, as I was saying before, about One Punch Man. Yeah, I felt like One Punch Man in the beginning of the series. Like, in the Johto series, not Johto, but like, when I was playing through Johto, like, that sucked. Like, I was just everything was easy. Like, by the end of Johto, I think I found my groove. But like, man, like, I
think I found my groove by like Rancor, because like the middle of Johto sucked and I was a total bore to watch. I was just editing this and I was like, man, this is incredibly boring. But then I went to Rancor and I was like, I found my groove in Rancor. I was like, man, this is amazing. But which is nuts, because like Rancor shouldn't even exist. And I feel like that's where my playthrough, my Nuzlocke really shines, in like in an area that shouldn't even exist. Like this game is, oh my god, this is the best Pokemon game I've ever played. This is the best. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I was just saying, I felt like One Punch Man though in the middle of my series, because like I was one-shotting everything, and the point of One Punch Man, if you've never watched that anime, is basically he's so overpowered that he beats everything with one punch, and because he beats everything with one punch, there's no conflict. The fire is out of his eyes. Basically, he's not happy. And what essentially the story is saying is that you need conflict to enjoy a happy life. You need to be a beast. You need to be able to, blast through everything, because being unemployed and, being powerless sucks also. But if you're too overpowered and you're just blasting through everything, then you're not going to enjoy anything, and it's going to be boring, and you're not going to have a good time still. So you need to be like Goku, where you're strong, like Kid Goku. You need to be strong, but not so strong that like you can't, nothing's a challenge and nothing's engaging you. That's how you need to be engaged. You need to, you need to walk that balance again. You need to know enough. You need to be competent. I think that's why I like Nuzlocke so much. Yeah, because Pokemon, I know Pokemon like the back of my hand. I've been playing Pokemon literally since, like, I was 5, since the game came out in America, like, Red, Blue version, like, the original one on Game Boy Pocket. And, like, so Pokemon I know very well. I'm very competent in Pokemon. But a Nuzlocke is random and chaotic by nature, so it's a good blend of those two things together. It's a very good balance of those two things together, and that's why I'm so fascinated by it. It's so much fun. What else? This actually is from Anthony Bourdain. If you don't actually know what happened to Anthony Bourdain, it's actually very tragic. And I used to watch a lot of Anthony Bourdain when I was younger. But if you don't know, unfortunately, he committed suicide. He died. So I've been just utterly fascinated with Anthony Bourdain, because he was a big influence to me, when I was in high school, going through a lot of stuff as well. And it's just like, yeah, so I've just been utterly fascinated with Anthony Bourdain. And I was just trying to figure out why he did it. But I found actually a lot of inspirational stuff in Anthony Bourdain, which is odd, because like it didn't really help him, I guess. But it's still important, and it actually applies kind of for like making YouTube videos and like Nuzlockes as well. So I'll go over it with you. So one thing that he says is like and what he was saying is that was food basically in this context. He's saying make bad food or eat bad food or go to bad places, so that way you can make the good one, basically, so you can get the magical one. Basically what he was saying was, if you don't risk the bad meal, then you'll never get the magical meal. In this case with me, it's with YouTube. If you don't make bad content, if you don't make bad videos or videos you don't necessarily like, you're never going to have that experience, or you're never going to get the knowledge you need to make the magical one. You're never going to get there. Which is essentially, yeah, it's essentially the exact same philosophy as like Best Guy Ever, or like MathWiz7998. Well, I forget his name, but yeah, that guy though. It's essentially the same philosophy as Best Guy Ever. And Digibro, I guess, too. Just make content. Just produce content, and it might be garbage 99% of it, but eventually you'll learn, and you'll learn how to make amazing content. So just make content and get to the bad content. It's the same thing with drawing too. It's essentially what I said before with like sketching also. Like you need to make something shitty and something bad before you can get to something good. Because if you don't make those shitty mistakes, or if you don't make something shitty, you're not going to have the context or the map that'll lead you to where you need to go to make the good thing or to get the good thing. So yeah, you gotta embrace the good with the bad, basically. That's the only way you're gonna basically do. That's the best way to basically venture into the land of the unknown, essentially. Here's another one of Anthony Bourdain's quotes. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but it does apply to YouTube as well. It's make unsuccessful videos, or shows in this case, rather than soulless, competent, lazy ones. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, because YouTube's algorithm is about making lazy content and like long content that's not exactly like high quality or has a lot of effort put into it. Which might be why he killed himself. He might have had a lot of high standards, but I don't know. I don't know anything about his life or why he did it exactly. But he definitely seemed like he cared a lot about what he did, basically. And to a degree, there is a healthy level to have that in like your work. Like you need to be able, because that was the big reason why I didn't really want to make videos in the first place, or do a Nuzlocke challenge, or do like Let's Plays or whatever, because it's like, who's gonna want to watch this? Like, there's no like effort, there's no energy into it, there's nothing. It's not like an animation where it's like I put effort into it, but like people will want to watch it. It is still worthy though. There is still something you can glean and still gain out of it. So it's not entirely bad, but there is something to say though that like you should put your all in it. And I think I get what he's saying. It's like if you enjoy it, if you value it and you value your work, then even if it's not successful, then you will still value it more than even the successful one. Because like a good example is that like I made a couple Team 4-star animations, and one of them is like crazy huge, it's like 51k, 52k, it's insane. But I don't really like that video. It's almost like my least favorite thing I've ever made, when it's my most successful video I've ever made. But so just because you make something that doesn't, I mean, granted, I did put a lot of effort into that video. Well, then again, I really didn't. It almost felt soulless because I rushed making it. So I'm not very proud of it. So, but it does very well. So like, what he's saying is that make something that you're proud of, not something that's going to succeed, because that's what's going to make you happy, basically. That's what he's saying, really. It's really hard to articulate that, but that's what he's saying. Yeah. What else do I have here? Oh, another thing is that like, yeah, again, accept failure and failure. This is from Digibro, actually. Fail faster. Fail faster, and this is just becoming inspirational Shika, is what this is. Inspirational Pokemon Nuzlocke post-game. is what this is. Okay, let me continue. Okay, this does apply to a Nuzlocke, I swear. Okay, so, yeah, so fail faster, and embrace it, because you never know what you might get. You might be something good and crazy beyond your wildest dreams. Like, that's a thing, too, that I've noticed with Nuzlockes, is that, like, you know, you could be dying, you could be, like, on the edge, like, everything could be gone to shit, like, you know, you lost all your Pokemon. You can be like Pro Jared, like, you know, Pro Jared's Nuzlocke's, like, you know, like, he's got nothing. He's got, like, all his Pokemon are dead. All he has left is Nuptup and Jefflump, and, you know, it's not looking good. It looks like he's gonna die. But he still goes on, he still plays, and, you know, he wins the game eventually. He wins Fire Red. He beats it, like, legitimately, and it's nuts. And it's like, oh my god. Like, and he wins because, like, you may not know what happened, and something really good might happen beyond your wildest dreams. Basically, the longer you live and the longer you play, which is, I guess, a good way to make, like, a good anti-suicide video. The longer you play and the longer you live, the more likely you're going to get lucky. And the more likely you are to get lucky, the more likely you are to get something that will, work in your favor and to make something really good happen. And that was another thing that Digibro talked about in one of his videos, too, I think about the original Pokemon. Like the TV show, is that like they all suck, they're all incompetent, and none of them are good. None of them are even necessarily moral or good people, but things just work out. Like, and I think that's what Ash understood in the show, is that like even though he's not good or doesn't really understand what he's doing, he still goes for it because there's still that possibility that like things can just work out. It might be blind optimism, but it is a thing though. So, yeah. So embrace it. Embrace a little bit of that chaos, I guess, or embrace failure and fail faster, because you never know. Like what bad thing can happen. Or even, here's another good example too, like, embrace failure because, like, if Nova didn't die, right? If Nova didn't die, then I would never have given Gorehit a shot. I wouldn't, if Swoley never died, if Lund never died, I would have never given Gorehit a shot. I would have never even considered putting Gorehit in my team. Even though I know Gorehit's a beast. I would have never done it. I just kept using the same thing. In order for Gorehit, it's the same thing for Gurren Lagann too, basically. In order for Simone to rise, Kamina had to die. In order for Gorehit, and I guess my other Pokemon too. Actually, a better example is Hopper. In order for Hopper to rise, and for Hopper to wipe and one-shot the entire game for me, and beat the game for me, essentially, because he did, Nova had to die. So, like, yeah, so, bad things, just because something bad happens, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to lead to something bad. It could lead to something really good, so don't like base like your entire life after that one thing, because there's much more to it. So yeah, that's a good anti-suicide message. Let's continue. This is getting deep, man. This is getting real deep. Man, no, I mean, I'm telling you, man, Nuzlocke. I learned a lot from this. Nuzlocke are deep. Here's another quote from Anthony Bourdain. It's a powerful reaction is much more pleasing than a you know, pleasing everybody, I guess. Powerful reaction is better than pleasing everybody, which I get what he's saying. I mean, I guess that's why I like to curse, or I like to be open. It's much more interesting to like be somewhat controversial. I mean, I doubt cursing is really controversial, but you know what I mean. It's much more interesting to make, like, I guess, jokes, or like have strong opinions and to be interesting than it is to like just be a yes man and just please everybody. What else? What else? Oh, here's a good one that I learned. Stories. Nuzlocks are basically stories, essentially, and it's a basic outline for a story because you got like the conflict all weaving in there, and it's a story that has experience, and it's an experience that you can share with others, and others could also benefit and gain from as well from said story, and others also have their own story, which is also what I kind of learned from. Like, Nuzlocke is like my own personal story, and watching like Pro Jared's Nuzlocke or Team 4-Star's Nuzlocke or whatever Ben Say's Nuzlocke is their story, and it could be the exact same game. Like Team 4-Star also played Leaf Green, but it's a completely different story than Pro Jared's Nuzlocke. It's a completely different story, and it's like that with other people's lives too. Other people's life, you think like you know someone's life, and like, you know, they go through the motions, they go to college or whatever, they go to school, college, job, like whatever, etc. Like that's what you think is happening, but that's not really what's happening. And there's like, it's completely different than what you think, and it's a completely different story with completely different outcomes and characters and motivations involved. And it's interesting. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And I guess here's a part of the note continued. It's acknowledge not just that of others, and but they're the main character of their own story, basically, which is the same philosophy as Mob Psycho 100. Not just acknowledge that they're also, everyone's the main character of their own story, but with experiences and things that you can learn from as well, that you should also be aware of, but also be aware of that you also have your own story to tell, which someone else can equally gain and learn from as well. Which is a paradigm shift, gaining perspective of someone's, you know, perspective basically, and knowledge. Which again was one reason why I really didn't want to make a Nuzlocke series before, because I was like, this is kind of narcissistic. Why would I put up my own content, like my own show? Like, I think that's something Anthony Bourdain really struggled with too. He was like, why, like, he said like if you're a writer or you're any content creator or whatever, then you're by nature some kind of monster, which I don't necessarily agree with. Because other people. Because in saying that you are, that your story is not worth telling, then you're also subsequently saying that other people's stories are also not worth telling, which means you're not acknowledging other people's existence and other people's stories and essentially lives. And so if it's a two-way street, basically. If it's important and good for me to learn other people's lives and to really look at other people's lives, and it's also important and just as interesting for them, for me to share my life as well. It's a two-way street. You should look at both. Like, you know, like if I can learn and benefit from, like, say, Pro Jared's Nuzlocke and get something out of that, or Team 4-Star's Nuzlocke and get actual inspiration out of that, then it's also possible for someone else to get inspiration, or even myself to get inspiration from my own Nuzlocke. You know what I mean? So it's a two-way street. Let's continue. We're not even halfway done, folks. This is long. Oh my god, this is long. I don't know. I might be regretting this. It's deep. There's just so much. There's so much. I don't even remember what I'm even talking about. That's how much this is. Oh, yeah. This is a part of the video I was watching about Anthony Bourdain, too. Yeah, sharing creative work takes courage, not vanity. He would say that you're a vain person. It's all about vanity, showing yourself or putting yourself out there. It's not. It's about making creative work. What's vanity is creating creative work and then saying, look at me, and then not acknowledging anyone else's work and saying that your work is the best. That's vanity. Vanity is not creating your own work, acknowledging the flaws that it has, and acknowledging that other people's creative works are also invalid and important as well. Because it's important, because that's the problem that I'm usually faced. Like I said before, the problem I usually face is that, like, my content sucks, is not worthy, and is not good, and is complete garbage, and will never amount to, like, Pro Jared's Nuzlocke at all. And I still pretty much believe that, but I'm a little more lenient now, and I'm like, well, it may not be as good, but there is some value into it still. It may not be as valuable as, say, their Nuzlocks or whatever, but it's still valuable, though. Someone else can still gain something out of it, and not just someone else, but me. I mean, look, I gained a lot of stuff from doing this just for myself, so, like, yeah, so it's a two-way street. Again, here's a good one, too. Here's a good one. Oh, this is a really, really good one. Don't ruminate on things. That's what I would do constantly in this Nuzlocke. As you would see, I would spend hours and so much time trying to figure out what Pokemon is going to be perfect on my team to fix my team, to have perfect team composition. Don't ruminate on things. Don't focus too much on the symptoms or the causes or whatever. I would also focus on, like, man, that one Garchomp crit my Pokemon. I would focus on that. Don't focus on that. Focus on the solution and focus on, okay, what's going to get me through this game? Don't focus on losing the Pokemon. Focus, just get past it and move on as fast as you can. That's one way to. That's a good way to live life. what's another thing? Here's another one that I learned. The way you choose to describe yourself can dictate your emotions, which then become the basis of your actions. So, let's see. I.e., oh my god. Oh, so i.e., if you eat garbage, you become garbage. Like if you eat like, junk food or whatever, you're gonna get fat. You're gonna become lazy. You're not gonna gain muscle mass. You're gonna be depressed, basically. If you knowingly lie to yourself, you're going to be paranoid and you're not going to trust yourself. If you don't love or forgive yourself, or be lenient on yourself and accept that you're not going to be cool or whatever, or not going to be able to articulate or say words essentially all the time, then you're not going to be able to love or care for yourself when you're alone, and especially for others when others need you. So that's definitely one way. That's definitely something I definitely learned from this Nuzlocke. Is that that's essentially why I said like I like doing Nuzlocke. I'm so fascinated with it. Because it forces you to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself because you have to follow by these rules, and if you don't, you lose the game. The game becomes invalid if you don't follow by these rules. Or at least the Nuzlocke anyway. The Pokemon game still continues, but the meta-narrative game of the Nuzlocke doesn't continue. So you have to essentially build your trust with yourself. So that's why I love it. It forces you to trust yourself, and it forces you to learn how to live with yourself. Again, here's another one that I said, as I was saying about with like Goku or whatever, the best way to overcome life is to become a beast with teeth. This is another one of Jordan Peterson's like lectures or sayings. Just basically, you need to become a beast. You can't be like someone that's like, that pleases everyone, that's incompetent, or, not incompetent even, but like someone that's like a pleaser, like, doesn't get into any conflict or whatever, that it's not capable of doing any damage. Because someone that is, everyone's capable of damage, and if you don't have teeth, and if you're not capable of doing damage or consciously capable of doing damage, then you cannot control yourself when you randomly or unconsciously create chaos and create damage and hurt someone. Because good people can, look at, this is from Samus, from Metroid. Like, the Chozo basically created the Metroids, essentially. They created the Metroids to stop, like, a virus. And because they did, the whole galaxy went to shit. So it's like, if you're not capable of creating a lot of evil, or having teeth or whatever, then you're going to subsequently, unconsciously create evil. So that you need to be conscious of when you're going to do those things, so that way you need to be able to recognize it, and then be like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Or also to protect yourself too. You need to be able to, bare your fangs when something really bad is going to happen, because someone might, have malicious intent onto you, or like, Pokemon's going to try and kill you, or a trainer might want to destroy you, or whatever. So, that's the best way to survive and help others also. So yeah, again, also, it's not just helps you also, it also helps, like, the people around you too. Because, like, if you're not a beast, and if you're not capable, or if you're not competent, then, like, everyone else around you is going to suffer and is going to fail. And that's again also what I'm trying to say. Subsequently, your surroundings are going to become chaotic, and everyone around you is going to suffer, and everyone around you is not going to be able to be okay. They're going to also go down with you. That's something also Anthony Bourdain talked about also. You need to, that's why you would, like, clean, like, that's what you learn from doing restaurants. Like, if you're not capable of being good as chef, not being a good chef, or not being a good dishwasher or whatever, then the whole system collapses. The whole system is gone. So you need to be, like, and it's the same thing with Pokemon too. Like, as soon as Swoley died, or like one of my Pokemon goes, then everyone goes. Then it's then the team is slightly weaker. Then I have to focus with like only 5 Pokemon, and then like the chances of me dying and wiping out are higher, significantly higher. So like, yeah. So if you're whereas if I had someone like Trash on the team, because Trash was weak, if I had someone like Trash on the team, right, then like the whole team would suffer. Like everyone would, like, the chance of me dying would be astronomical because I have Trash on the team, unless I just threw Trash out there to die, specifically to die, but I didn't. But like if I had like Trash on the team permanently and be like, I like Delibird because Delibird's cool or whatever, like, no, we would all die because Delibird sucks, and if you suck, then like you're gonna make everything around you suck, essentially. So yeah, the same notion though, don't be too afraid of sucking though, because you need to learn how to not suck, basically. So which I guess is kind of also hard to do. You need to learn how to not suck, but not in an environment that others really depend you on. Yeah, that's something you should definitely focus on. Or take away from, I guess. Here's a good one too that I also learned also from doing this Nuzlocke, is that surround yourself with people who are equally or stronger as beasts as you, or surround yourself with people that are also beasts, that are also like way more smarter than you, way more stronger than you, and just everything, just better than you in every single way. like in Pokemon, like the only way my other Pokemon were able to gain levels is because what I would do when I was grinding, right? How I got so high in grinding is that I would have 1 or 2 other Pokemon, like say like Dr. Edge or Brutal or whatever, would go with my other Pokemon that were weaker and just bitches completely, and they would stay and hang there with them just in case something crazy went wrong. And or I would give them the other Pokemon EXP share, and I would have them fight the Pokemon, and then they would gain the experience. So, which is a good way to look at life. The only way you can learn anything is if you surround yourself with people that are far better than you at what you want to do and are far just superior and more intelligent. Like, I mean, that's pretty much how kids are raised. Like, the only way a kid learns how to walk or talk is being surrounded by parents, by individuals that he or she is not even capable of understanding or even knowing how they're doing anything they're doing. With them having jobs and lives completely outside of this kid and, you know, doing complicated things that this kid can't even imagine. Almost fourth dimensional, almost. Like, it's a completely different world to this baby. Like, it doesn't even understand, like, anything. So it's like, it's the same thing with, like, when you're trying to learn something. So, you need to surround yourself with people that are far superior than you, because that's the fastest way to grow. Because if you put that baby out in the wild, right, because you'd be like, oh, I don't want to be better than this baby, because, like, morally or whatever, then the baby's going to grow up crooked. It's going to grow up wild, and it's going to not be able to learn how to talk, or it's not going to be able to learn how to walk properly. It's going to grow up wrong. It's going to grow up it's going to grow up not suited to the environment that it should be, you know, growing up towards. It's going to be suited to a wild environment, not an environment with people, where it needs to interact with people, basically. If it even learns at all, if it even winds up learning how to walk at all, it may not. It might just die on the wild. It might just, you know, crawl. It may not even learn how to walk. It might just crawl for the rest of its life. You don't know. But that's a good way to learn that. It's a good way to be humble, though, too, because, like, people, a lot of, I guess when I was younger, too, I guess, it was like, oh, man, my content sucks. I'm not as good. It's a good way to accept not being good and sucking, because, like, the only way you can learn anything is from people that are already better than you anyway. So the fact that you suck isn't a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's an opportunity for you to learn. It's an opportunity for you to gain something and to reach higher heights and higher levels that you would normally not be able to achieve on your own. Is essentially what that is, that I gained from this Nuzlocke. Oh my god, there's so many notes. Oh, here's a good one I learned recently too. Keep a weapon on you, at half power, half fangs, or whatever, to protect yourself, but don't, but never not think that exact weapon or exact power that you have to protect yourself with could also wind up hurting you or even possibly being the demise of you. Pay attention to your strengths, because if you don't, then they could be used against you. So, like, this is also incredibly dark. There was a video that I was watching about, I guess I've been fascinated with the concept of suicide, I guess, recently. But there was a video I was watching, it was like an anti-suicide video. And it was this guy who was in a wheelchair, and he, you know, he had a lot of, like, issues or whatever. He was like a football player or something. But, you know, he cared a lot about other people's opinions and judgment. And he had a gun on him, and he got a gun because he was paranoid about, like, I think he was dating this girl, and this girl, like, had a boyfriend or whatever, and this boyfriend was going to come out and get him, and he was afraid that this guy was going to come and hurt him. So he would carry a gun on him, but then, you know, for protection. But then eventually, you know, things got out of hand, and then he became very depressed, and eventually became suicidal. That very gun that he had that was designed to protect him now became, I wonder how I can kill myself with this. So, and I guess what I took away from that was, and applying it to my Nuzlocke, is that, like, because I was watching all these videos as I was, you know, playing my Nuzlocke. I was like, this very thing that I have, like, say Swoley or whatever, or even Corey for that matter. The whole reason I had Corey, this weapon that is, you know, that's a beast, wound up being part of the reason why that Dragon Gym was so devastating, because Corey was just incredibly weak to Dragon, and because, I mean, it's not a really good analogy, but you get the picture, though. Like, be careful of your strengths, because it can be used against you, and, yeah, just be careful of that. I don't really know exactly how that plays into the Nuzlocke, but I guess, since we're on the topic of suicide anyway, I might as well bring it up. But it is something that I did learn, though, as I was playing this. What else? What else is here? Oh yeah, don't be afraid or paranoid about losing Pokemon or having bad things happen, because again, yeah, random things can happen, and it usually works out in the end anyway. So, yeah. Oh, here's an interesting one too. Everyone leaves a legacy. Your involvement, no matter what you do, changes the outcome of things, whether you like it or not. So a lot of people like to go on and harp about that. I've also noticed just making content on YouTube or whatever. People are like, man, I want to make a big impact, you know, or not even a big impact. As long as like one person gains something out of this. The reality is that like someone's going to gain something out of it, and the reality is that like you're already affecting someone, and someone's already gained something out of it. Whether you like it or not, it could be bad, it could be good. Example here in Nuzlocke is sushi. My floatzel, like Sushi's legacy is that Dr. Edge died and that I had to switch out my whole team. That was Sushi's legacy because specifically Sushi was in that moment, in that exact time, and interacted in that moment. It forced me to change and switch out my team composition, which then in turn led me to use Shinobi and sweep the entire gym, or the Elite Four basically. So, and it drastically changed how I play the game basically. So, making these YouTube videos, and like you could say the exact same thing with like Pro Jared's Nuzlocke or anyone else's Nuzlocke for that matter. It's like, you know, watching their Nuzlockes inspired other people to create their own Nuzlockes and inspired other people to make animations for them basically. And it's, yeah, so no matter what you do, you're gonna leave an impact essentially. You have a lot more. I think that's what the point I was getting at too with the other stuff I was saying too, is that like you have more power than you'd think. Here's another one. Yeah, treat Nuzlocke like stories or improv stories, and Pokemon like children or like characters. Because that's the problem I didn't realize until like midway through the game. It's like Pokemon are characters. I really like Ben Sate's approach to Pokemon narratives and Pokemon Nuzlocke narratives because like I'm really not good at that. I'm really not good at like weaving the story and doing improv, but it's a good way to practice it though. It's great. I think I pretty much went over that. What's another one? Oh, I think it was Glutton. It was Glutton Special Defense. That's what I was getting at. Like, you know how I said with like the 12-year-old kid who like shut up the place and that one science teacher like saved everyone or whatever. It's the same thing with like EV training basically. And the analogy I was gonna go with was Glutton Special Defense. I buffed up Glutton Special Defense, and Glutton was the one that was yeah. That's why, because Glutton's a glutton for punishment, and Glutton always like survives with like barely like 1 HP or whatever. That's you know, that's really a happy miracle how that kind of happened. Like glutton for punishment, glutton, and then like the eating disorder because Glutton saw everyone die. It's like, oh my god, I couldn't like, if I did anything right, it was Glutton. Glutton was right. Man. Oh, here's a really good one that I learned actually from Mark Curley. He's like a comic artist, and this is actually really helps me a lot in this Nuzlocke too, and I guess in any artistic endeavor really. It's obsession is a good substitute for talent and the highway for towards mastery. However, saying that though, it is easy to become lost in it. Don't let the dangers of being lost in the obsession cloud your judgment or cloud your rational mind. Yeah, it'll damage yourself, and maybe it'll damage your surroundings and possibly damage, like, you know, your legacy or whatever else you might leave behind. So, yeah, so it's a two-way street, basically. So, I say that a lot, don't I? But, yeah, so, just become obsessed with it. When I was playing this Pokemon game, or even just Nuzlocke in general, like, for the last year and a half or so, I just become obsessed with Nuzlocke. And that's just how I became good. I just played it constantly, and I just thought about it constantly. And that's the best way to get good at something, like... Yeah, just constantly do it and constantly think about it. But at the exact same time, like, you don't want to keep constantly thinking about it because, like, if you're like, okay, I need to do something else now, like, if you keep doing that, or, like, you know, if I were to, like, be like, okay, I'm going to just play Pokemon and I'm going to make these videos, I'm going to say, screw work and I don't have to work, I don't need money, then, like, that would severely be bad for everyone involved. My family, myself, like, that would not be good. So don't be too obsessed. Be obsessed to the point where it helps you grow, but not to the point where it's going to make you homeless. Oh, here's a good one. Names are powerful. They carry weight and they carry weight and they help symbolize / personify the things that we may not understand yet. So, what's a good one? What's a good one? I think Glutton is basically a good example of that. I don't know if there's any. Hopper's a good one. I'm thinking of names that like help me personify things. I know for me, the concept of legacy has definitely helped me personify, like, you know, having the impact that you have on the world and like growing. Basically, it's basically my word for like life, essentially, legacy. basically he was using another one that I said before too. There needs to be some chaos in order for things to flourish, or else people get bored and create their own chaos. And if you're not capable of creating chaos, or constantly creating chaos, then you're going to create chaos. So you need to have a little bit of chaos, or else like people are gonna get bored and people are gonna make chaos, and that's how like World War I essentially happened. Yeah, so there's that. What else is there? What else is there? Oh, it's also like, having a little bit of chaos also helps you appreciate your life too. I think I said that before with One Punch Man. But yeah, having a little bit of chaos helps you appreciate your life. Not just because like, or not even like chaos, but knowing how bad things can get. Like, this sounds very morbid and sounds very dark, but like the fact that like, I've known people that are dead, or like I've seen pictures of like people, like slaves or whatever, like horribly mutilated, and like in the Congo or whatever. I forgot what it was. I think it was like this Dutch guy that like owned a slave like thing in the Congo or whatever, but like he was just brutally murdered, like his slaves, or even like the Holocaust or whatever. It's like, it's incredibly dark and it's incredibly sad. Like watching Schindler's List was awful. It was horrible, but it made me really appreciate, man, life is really good. Like, yeah, so like I think you do need to have like, you need to understand the capacity of how bad things can get, and like the capacity of understanding and acknowledging and even having bad things happen to you to really appreciate life. Because like what I've also noticed, like the most cruel people I've usually met are usually the people that have had the least amount of chaos or the least amount of bad things happen in their lives. Usually. It's usually rich people that like, have never had anything bad to them, have life handed out to them on a silver platter, and they're usually pretty bad people, and they're usually people that don't appreciate their lives, that usually whine about everything. They're usually the people that, that are usually like that don't appreciate their lives. So, yeah, so having a little bit of and people that usually have gone through something pretty horrible, pretty tragic, usually wind up, really appreciating their life. Like, I know I have, at least. Not that I've necessarily gone through anything super crazy or horrible, like the Holocaust or whatever, but like, I mean, yeah, my uncle knew a Holocaust survivor, though. It's like, if, going through something like that, completely like the Holocaust or something horrible, is like, and living through life, even though you might have like, I mean, you could come out of that and be like traumatized and be nihilistic and, have a lot of complications, but getting past those complications after that, it really makes you appreciate life more, I guess. I mean, for me, that's what high school was, for me at least. Like, it wasn't exactly the Holocaust, but it was pretty bad. It was hell. It was not fun. And I have a lot of, like, PTSD and a lot of trauma from that, kind of, but, like it's hard for me to go out in crowds or whatever, but, like, the fact that I'm now somewhat over that now really makes me appreciate my life that much better. So, yeah. I think it's the last one. Oh, I think I pretty much already said this, but I'll say it one more time because it's really, really good advice. Yeah, the longer you play, the longer you live, the more you interact, or the more you do anything, really. The more you make videos on the internet, the more chances you are to get lucky, and the more you learn. And that's the path of least resistance. That's another concept that if I learned anything from playing Nuzlocke at all, it is the concept of path of least resistance. There is a path of least resistance, and that's one of them. The longer you play, the longer you live, the longer you do anything, the more likely you are to get better at it, and the more likely you are to understand things randomly, and random good things will happen. So, yeah. So that's some pretty good advice that I've gotten out of that. So I think that's pretty much it. Man, this is gonna suck editing, but it's worth it though, because I learned a lot, and I really hope this doesn't come off as narcissistic or incredibly dickish, but whatever, man. It's like, I appreciate you watching, I appreciate playing, I appreciate this whole experience, and I just like to share these notes that I made. So that's finally it though. Again, thank you so much for watching. My next plans are to make animations and to make more Fakemon video like I made before, like my top 5 Pokemon video, and I might do another Nuzlocke eventually. Maybe not for a while though. Maybe like another year or two or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, look forward to those animations. Look forward to that top 5 more Fakemon videos or whatever, and maybe possibly a comic I'm working on. Maybe I'll post some stuff up on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it though. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys all later. Peace out.